Are you on the hunt for this specific calling card or just hitting round 100 on any Cold War Zombies maps? Well, then this video is for you. Hello there, my name is Justin from Day 9, and today we're going to be walking you through how to get round 100 on Maschine. But before we get into the first steps of this, let's discuss the loadout that we're using for this game. It is optional, as you're going to be relying a lot on the die Shockwave. But for me, I like to use the M16 or the ray gun if RNGesus is blessing you on this game. But you can see my loadout on screen for the M16, and then we'll get into the first step, which is just going to be getting to round 6, leaving one zombie left. Now, following my pathing down with one zombie remaining, we're going to go turn on the power and the Pack-a-Punch. After that, we're going to be doing the Coffin Dance Easter egg to get a free Juggernog, and just to get some free salvage during the cutscene. After interacting with all 3 of those items, you're going to be asked to step through the Dark Ether portal. It's going to take you to the Dark Ether, and you're just going to want to jump up back to the surface, and then go down through a teleporter that it shows you on the map, collecting a Pack-a-Punch part, and then placing it back in the center where you just came from. Once you are back, you can start setting up for the Coffin Dance Easter egg by shooting these orbs you see on screen right now. I'm going to show you exactly where to stand and where to shoot. It's these blue little guys. Once you shoot all of them, it's going to teleport you into the Coffin Dance Easter egg, and at the end of it, you can get a free Juggernog, and it is going to flip your round as well. So I'll see you guys in a minute. As mentioned earlier, it did flip our round to round 7, so we're just going to need to run this dog round, and then we'll be able to reap our rewards up at the top. After that, you can either get a an AAT on your weapon if you don't have all the Easter eggs beaten. If you haven't, we do have guides for those on the channel to get yourself a free purple rarity weapon. But if you do, you can run with purple rarity for a while during this high round strat. But then after this dog round, you're going to head up back to the spawn room and wait for a Megaton to spawn in. Back up at the top, waiting for the Megaton to spawn in. Once we kill the Megaton, and then we kill each of the splitting Megatons, it's going to drop a part we need for the die Shockwave. You're just going to run that part down to the lower section, and you're going to get a little beacon thing. There you see the key card. So we're going to run that down to the bottom section, insert it into the computer, grab a part, and then come back into the spawn room and train up the zombies. So try not to kill as many zombies as possible. I'm going to speed up the segment a little bit, but as I mentioned earlier, trying not to kill any of the zombies. You're just going to train them all up into a neat little horde. Then you're going to run them back through Nocturne and Toten, and then through a trap that you'll ignite once you go back there. So I'll show you that in a minute, but just trying to wind them on up, keep them as close together as possible so you can make it one clean sweep. Activating the trap, you're going to want to run back and forth, and Stamina Up is going to help you tremendously through this because not all the zombies are going to be caught up in the trap. After it catches enough of them, it's going to let you know through a little dialogue section in the center of your screen. After that, you can activate the trap once more, and this is going to fling the door open, and you're going to be able to get the die Shockwave. With the Die Shockwave, the next step is just going to be getting fully perked up and pack-a-punching the Die Shockwave to tier 3, so you can sit up in the up top area, just killing zombies with the M16, or if you're fortunate enough, you can get a different weapon like the ray gun that may help you out. Ring of Fire is going to be your best friend up here as well, just killing zombies up here, just holding your own. It's kind of like if you were playing Black Ops 3, playing the giant sitting on the catwalk. That's what this feels like to me. You're just going to be shooting zombies as they come through and just saving up as many points as possible. As mentioned earlier, the ray gun can help you with this high round. It's not essential. The Die Shockwave is pretty much the only essential part of the strat besides equipment, which you're going to see me grab right now. I'm going to leave the last 3 rounds of the round 100 in, so you can see the full strat in its entirety. Essentially, you're just going to start off either with Ring of Fire or getting Ring of Fire by using the Casimirs or the Semtex grenades in the spot. Using the alternating features of the Die Shockwave, the L2 for the little suction to get the ammo back, and then the R2 to shoot out the little Shockwave blast. You're going to run that through until your Ring of Fire is completely depleted. Once depleted, you'll be able to activate a cruise missile to clean up the rest of the zombies. Then you're just going to throw a Casimir at your feet to recharge the Ring of Fire, and rinse and repeat. Once the round is completed, you're just going to go down to the workbench and then rebuy all your items for this. By this point in the game, basically by 40 or 50, you're going to be running that with the M16 and the Die Shockwave. That's just going to be saving up all of the salvage that you'll need for this strat. If you have perks like Death Perception is going to get you a lot more salvage, and Mule Kick is going to get you free items at the crafting bench when you buy items, so you'll be saving on salvage, and essentially by that point you'll be able to do the strat flawlessly. So I'm going to leave the rest of these 2 or 3 rounds in there just so you can see it in its entirety, and I'll catch you guys at the end of the video. And with that, you have hit round 100 on D Maschine, and if this is your first time, you'll unlock the round or the another round calling card, so you can use that in Black Ops Cold War and Warzone. We're going to be walking through how to reach round 100 on Firebase Z. In my opinion, this map is the hardest round-based Cold War map to hit round 100 on, as a lot of the tools at your disposal do fall off pretty early on this map, and they do spam mimics like no one's business. But by using today's guide, we're going to be walking through it in detail so that you can reach round 100. Loading into Firebase Z, I actually chose the M79 grenade launcher as my startup weapon. We will be using other weapons off the wall to get us through the rounds until we can get the Ray K. However, I felt as though this would combine well with PhD to help get back Ring of Fire in between the charges. So we started in with the M79 so we can get it fully pack-punched, fully leveled up, and all that jazz. However, the first few rounds are going to be as normal for doing the Firebase Z Easter egg. You're just going to be running round 1 in here, going through the gate into that main Firebase Z area, and then you're just going to run trials. I always try to get a legendary rarity trial right at the beginning, and then if it's the Ray K, great. If not, then I'll proceed and start activating the generators. I believe we got wonderful RNG on this run. I think we actually did get it through trials and through the Coffin Dance-esque Easter egg on this map. But if you can't, then you can always buy, or sorry, not buy, you can always build the Ray K. If you don't know how to build the Ray K, check out our Firebase Z Easter egg guide as we do go over that in detail. But I usually spend the first few rounds in this spawn room just doing the trials to try to get a legendary rarity trial. Now with our legendary trial completed and the Ray K in hand, because for some reason I was blessed by the RNG gods on this run, we're going to start activating the ether reactors as normal. So you're just going to progress through the 3 areas, activating the reactors, defending them from the zombies, similar to the Garad Kurovi step, and then we'll be able to get on the power so we can start buying our perks and getting fully pack-a-punched. Essentially, our build is going to consist of the Ray K, the grenade launcher, full perks, and Casimir's with a side of like an oh crap field upgrade or kill streak like the chopper gunner, artillery strikes, etc. Now with our reactors turned on, we're going to go talk to Ravenov, and then talk to Peck, and then talk to Ravenov so that the zombies leave us alone. That way we can successfully do the Coffin Dance Easter egg without any zombies hitting us.
No more games, Peck. No big plan, Ravenov.
And once spawned in, you're going to be shooting the 3 ether bunnies, and then after that you're going to collect your reward chest. If you're like me and you apparently, again, had the God RNG for this run, you may also get the Ray K from this Easter egg as well, but we are at least guaranteed a free Juggernog. That is why I bought Stamina up earlier. 1, I like the movement speed, and 2, I wanted to get it at a discounted price since we're getting our second perk for free anyways. Now, outside of the Dark Ether, we can camp ourselves right next to the Pack-a-Punch machine and start building up points to get our Ray K fully Tier 3 Pack-a-Punched, get our perks, get our Grenade Launcher Tier 3 Pack-a-Punched, and level it up to Orange Rarity. You're going to find it really, really easy to sit here if you have the Ray K already. Early rounds, you can still knife the zombies, but in general, if you have the Ray K, you can shoot one of the spiraling bursts at the floor, switch to your main ammo type, and then shoot it once. This is going to cause it to do constant swirling damage to the zombies, and it's super easy to camp pretty much anywhere on early rounds with the Ray K. Again, if you don't already have the Ray K, check out our Firebase Z Easter egg guide as we go in depth as to how to build it, but otherwise you can get it from either the trials, the mystery box, or that free Juggernaut Easter egg we just completed. So you're just going to chill out here for a little bit, rack up a bunch of points, and get fully prepped for the strategy. And once you're feeling good about your kit, you're going to come back into this room with that door closed, and you're going to be able to camp here pretty much the rest of the game, using, again, the first burst feature and then shooting it once to cause a constant swirl of damage. As the zombies get progressively more health and more speed, and the mimics become more and more, you're going to have to switch up your strategy a little bit to utilizing Ring of Fire, to doing multiple bursts, and to using equipment. So we're going to go over the multiple changes in the rounds as they progress. Hopping in on round 55, we're going to start it with one burst charge, again shooting it with the laser. We're going to do it a second time, and then we're going to do it a third time. Switch to our grenade launcher and just unload our grenade launcher with Shatter Blast. This should have your Ring of Fire fully charged, so I'm going to do one burst, pop Ring of Fire, and then as they go away, I'm going to do the same thing. One burst, one shot. One burst, one shot. Constantly killing the zombies. At this round, that will keep you sufficient as the mimics aren't too overbearing and you won't need to spam nearly as often as you will in the later rounds. But we're going to continue doing this, and then once the Ring of Fire wears off, we're going to do the same thing. One burst, one shot, one burst, one shot, one burst, one shot. 3 times in total. And then the same exact thing with our grenade launcher. We're just going to unload that sucker. If it gets you Ring of Fire back, perfect. If it doesn't, do not worry. Do at least 1 or 2 more of these shot bursts, maybe 3 if you're feeling spicy. And then you could just use the Ray K's Mark III version where you just shoot it a bunch and then all the zombies explode. This should get you back your Ring of Fire, so again, one shot, one burst, and then pop a Ring of Fire yet again. Insta-kills are going to be a saving grace for this run as they, again, obliterate zombies with that orb swirling attack. So if you're ever feeling if you're in a bad position, just just get that insta-kill and you'll be good to go. But yeah, that was round 55. Checking in on round 75, we are going to put a lot more emphasis into spamming the one burst, one shot, one orb, whatever. We're going to put a lot more emphasis into that, but the same exact start, doing 3 of those, and then doing the grenade launcher, popping Ring of Fire. But instead of just doing once every once in a while, we are just going to keep shooting it and put a lot more emphasis into spamming the orbs and spamming trying to kill the mini-boss zombies as they come, as if you leave them alone, they will stack up very quickly. So you'll see I'm trying to better moderate the orb dispersal as I have, as well as trying to shoot the boss zombies. Once it ends, do about 3 of those, spam the grenade launcher. If it doesn't get you back Ring of Fire, not a problem. Just do 3 more of the one shot, one burst, and then do a grenade launcher again. You should have it at this point, so again, switch to grenade launcher, bang, bang, bang. Good to go. Do a quick little one shot, one burst, and then I chose to actually do the full thing so I can grab a nuke. Nukes are actually going to be a great asset for you to kind of reset the chaos, so then you can go back to your corner, get ready to shoot another orb, get ready to pop Ring of Fire, and you'll be in a much more content and less chaotic area, because there could be a lot of zombies and a lot of boss zombies in this tiny room at one time, if allowed to stack up. But yeah, one shot, one orb repeatedly. Every chance that I get after I shoot one, if I have a mimic nearby, I'm going to try to get some headshots off on a mimic to either get them as killed as quickly as possible, or at least as weak as early as possible, so they'll be taking that constant tick damage from the orb. But then as the zombies start trickling down, you notice on the radar that they're pretty much all the way gone, so I'm just going to choose to do one more shot, one more orb, and then do the explosion there, and then just hit them once with the grenade launcher. That's round 75. Checking in on round 95, by this point we have pretty much paid off our debt that we can spend salvage however the heck we want to and as loosely as possible. So for the last like 10 to 15 rounds, this is the strategy that I would do. Start off the round with the Casimir, as you've seen me do on multiple round 100s that we've done on the channel for Cold War Zombies. Just a quick and easy way to get your recharge back faster for the Ring of Fire. Once the Casimir ends, you should have your Ring of Fire, so you can do one shot, one burst, pop Ring of Fire. And then as we were doing on round 75, just spamming it as much as possible, trying to kill mimics as much as possible if they're around our vicinity. Just spamming that like crazy, and then choice is yours. You can either throw another Casimir once your Ring of Fire ends, or you can go back to doing the one shot, one burst 3 times consecutively, and then doing the grenade launcher a few times until you have your Ring of Fire back. Totally up to you. Again, by this point, you have enough salvage to keep buying the Casimirs, but I like to try to keep at least one in the back pocket if possible, just because you never know when things can go wrong. Also, if you get Ring of Fire back and you have some mimics closing in on you, it might be beneficial to do the explosion burst and then go back to one shot, one burst, just to kind of wipe the playing field, give you a blank slate on the mimics, because they can stack up and become incredibly aggressive very quickly, especially with how often they spawn on Firebase Z. But again, as you see with the Ring of Fire, one shot, one burst repeatedly. Once it runs out, shoot a few bursts and then go back to your grenade launcher. Rinse and repeat as we have been doing for the last 90 or so rounds. So we got a few of those. Bang with the grenade launcher. One shot, one burst, Ring of Fire. And then choose to burst it if you have a bunch of mimics. I did. Also, if they stack up, you can just try to shoot them pretty quickly in the head if you get a chance. But I see a nuke, so I'm actually going to explode and grab the nuke. Try to give myself a little bit of breathing and reprieve as I don't realize how close to the end of the round that I am. So I just wanted to kind of wipe the playing field a little bit. If you do get in a dicey situation like this, where situations are adding up to you really quickly, you can either A, choose to burst and then run out, try to give yourself some reprieve, or you can slow them down with a Casimir and then go for that. But that was round 95. And our final round of the round 100 challenge is going to be much of the same as round 95, starting off by buying some Casimirs and refreshing all of our equipment if we've used anything else. I'm going to try to leave the full round 99 in the video here, but I'm not really going to talk over it because, again, the strategy is much the same as round 95, so I'll catch you guys here in a moment. And with the final Mimic falling, the round 100 popping up on the screen, you have completed 100 rounds on Firebase Z. Today, we're going to be walking you through the strategy, the build, and everything that leads up to going from round 1 to round 100 on Mauer or Toten. This is the third video on the Cold War maps that we've done for this type of a series, so if you're new around here, please consider giving us a subscribe, as we do upload daily in terms of, zombies content, shorts, stream VODs, etc. But diving into this strategy, we're going to go round by round and try to show you the pathing at the very beginning to get you set up in case you've never played the map before, and then we'll probably jump around a little bit to show you the actual strategy for the later rounds. So let's dive right into it. Loading into the map, I start off with the Gallo, as I like starting off with a shotgun to help deal with those early game boss zombies like the Tempests, and it's just a very quick killing gun. However, most of our kills are going to be with melee, just to maximize our points in the early rounds. But I'm going to spend about rounds 1 through 6 until the last zombie of round 6 in the starting room, as I do with most of the Cold War maps. And then we'll start traversing the map, so I'll see you guys on round 6, and you can just follow my pathing as I navigate through the map. Entering this building should cause your first Tempest to spawn in, and killing him will get you your first fuse for the power. He can either spawn in the building or outside of it. Again, like I mentioned earlier, the Gallo really helps with the beginning of this game, and we're just going to grab that and then continue following my pathing downwards. big warning. You're going to see me shake my head at it. That door that we just looked at, do not open the door. This is going to be your high round room later on, and you don't want zombies coming in your back. Okay? You see me shake your head at the door. Do not open that door. The second Tempest is beyond that door, but you can actually get to him by going around. It's kind of tedious in the early game. However, once you reach those high rounds, you're going to want a back that you don't have to worry about. No zombies spawning in behind you and only in front of you. It's going to make training easier when the zombies get stockpiled up, and it's going to make just keeping them at bay with the Cerberus a lot easier. So again, if you follow my pathing, you'll get to the second Tempest. Killing him will drop the second fuse that you need. You just need to take this back to the power switch, put the fuses in, flip the power, and you'll have the power on ready to go. Next, you're going to need to head up to the surface and turn on the Pack-a-Punch by doing a little lockdown sequence. That's over very quickly with the Gallo. After interacting with the Pack-a-Punch machine, we're going to buy this debris just to have it ready to go. Then we're going to run over to this pile, wait for all the zombies to be initiated by the guy right there. You're just going to shoot him down real quick. It'll despawn the zombies that just spawned in, and then you can take them out at your leisure. While you're waiting for that, you can start digging in these dig piles over here. Just don't make sure not to get caught by the spotlight, as a machine gun turret will start to fire upon you. We are looking for a gold satellite dish to build Klaus, but I'll show you that here in a second. Oh, also, while you're at it, you need to get brain rots on your shotgun. That way we can open up the secret room to get access to the safe. That way we can get our free Cerberus. Otherwise, you can just spin the mystery box or True Trials. But for this tutorial, and for my game specifically, I like a guaranteed method of getting the Cerberus. So we're going to be going over how to build the Cerberus in this video, just to make sure you guys are 100% guaranteed to get them. Just follow my pathing and you'll lead yourself to the room. You just need to turn a zombie with brain rot, and then he'll hit the boards down. You'll have access to the extra room. It's going to be this one right here. Plus, you will need that for building Klaus later on as well. Once in the room, you can remove the hands in a very particular position. And then you can head out of this room and then start spinning the rounds. You could either be doing trials in the meantime, or you could just be killing zombies. I take my time to go down, change out my brain rot for Shatter Blast. I buy stamina for the movement speed. And we are just going to train zombies, getting melee kills to maximize your points as much as possible. We are rolling the rounds until round 10 when we get a Panzer. First Panzer is going to drop a battery to build Klaus. In the meantime, too, you can go back to digging in those dig spots until you get the satellite dish for building Klaus as well. Now with round 10 starting up, again, passively buying perks, getting melee kills, point maximizing as much as possible. With round 10 coming up, you're going to have a Panzer rolling in, again with your purple Gallo if you've beaten all the Easter eggs, or if not, the Gallo is very strong as well. Having something like Deadshot Daiquiri is very strong for the critical hits, and having Shatter Blast is very well. Shatter Blast is just good for horde control in general, but it's also great against Panzers. As you're going to see, this man just gets obliterated. So you're just going to pick up that battery, you're going to head downstairs, and we'll build Klaus after we've thinned out the zombies a little bit. We need Klaus to open up a locker to reveal a black light so that we can get the safe combination to get our free Cerberus. So I'll see you guys here in a minute. Alrighty, after one horde of zombies dealt with, we're going to take this zip line in that area you were training in. Down to here, you're going to be able to activate Klaus, go just a few little steps down the hallway, and then use your L1 interact button to point him at the locker code. It does take it a second for the L1 to trigger, because right now we have decoys, but you'll see it pop up in your lower right-hand corner once it's ready to go. I usually keep the zombie alive, but then again, Klaus is going to kill him anyways, so you could kill the zombie, it's up to you. But yeah, you just navigate him to the locker, he'll punch it, and that'll get you your black lights. So then you can be able to shine that in 3 different locations to get the safe code to get your free Cerberus Wonder Weapon. And we'll go there here in a minute. The second safe combination number will be in this room, as indicated by that number 2 next to the ladder. So we're just going to kill zombies. Looking over the walls, you see right there, 37 is number 2 on the safe combination. So like I'm doing here, you can pause, you can write it in your phone. If you're playing with a friend, you can, just say it a couple of times repeatedly to remember it. I just have very poor memory, so I usually pause to write it in on my phone, and then you can move on to the rest of the codes. Code number 3 is in this room, as indicated by that number 3. Can be on the walls, in the shelves, and it can get pretty dicey doing this in the middle of a round, so I don't recommend doing it. I was just getting anxious for the Cerberus. I love the Cerberus. It is one of my favorite weapons of all time. But I did realize that it was getting pretty spicy in there, so you can back out, kill some zombies, thin out the horde a little bit, and then come back. One horde of zombies dealt with, and we're back here. It's going to be number 24 right there, so that, again, you can pause your game, write it in, and since we've already thinned out the horde, we can go straight to our number 1 position safe code, which is right over here. Again, as indicated on that wall that we just saw earlier, this is the number 1 code, and I do struggle with all of these spawn locations because I don't play Mauer as much as I used to. I used to have all of them memorized, but if you just scan up and down the wall with the black light, you'll find it. There it is right there. So you just take a jot of that, then you can go over to that safe in that secret room that we unlocked earlier, which is conveniently right around the corner from here. Type in your code. While you're typing in the code, the zombies won't bother you, and then you'll get your free Cerberus Wonder Weapon. Interacting with the safe and eventually turning the handle after you've typed in all 3 of your codes will allow you to get your free Cerberus Wonder Weapon. Again, the zombies will leave you alone while you are typing in the code, and it is a little particular. Sometimes it looks like it's dead on, and it's clearly not, so taking a few tries is totally fine. Open the safe, and you get your free Wonder Weapon. We are pretty much all the way there. We just need to get the rest of our perks. We need to get Tier 3 Pack-a-Punch on the Cerberus, and then we just need to start saving up salvage. Just like the rest of our round 100 guides we've done in the past, we're going to be utilizing the Casimir grenades, Semtex grenades with PhD, and some other form of field upgrade. In this map, we use the War Machine. So we're going to be utilizing a lot of salvage, so perks like Death Perception to get you extra salvage, Mill Kick to get you free equipment once you buy equipment. Perks like those are going to be beautiful for this, and we are going to need to save up a bunch of salvage. So for me personally, while I'm still buying the perks, pack-punching my weapon, and then giving salvage, I train in this little tank area here. It's very open. If you have something like the Cerberus, you're not going to go down at all. It's going to be pretty convenient to get out of a sticky situation. Plus, if you have stuff like Stamina Up and PhD to increase your movement speeds and your movement capabilities, you'll be just fine training in this area. Plus, again, like you just saw, if you still have your Gallo with Shatter Blast, that just takes the whole horde out immediately. With our Tier 3 Pack-a-Punch and our perks, we just need to buy all the things, all the equipment we need to use the salvage for, and head down to our camping area. On round 26, camping in the area is going to be very easy with Cerberus, and you probably won't need to depend on equipment or Ring of Fire as much, but as the rounds progress, you will need to. I try to hold out as long as I can without depending on equipment. Usually around rounds 45 to 50 is when I start to really need to utilize equipment. And then probably rounds 70 to 80 is when equipment usage gets pretty easy. It starts paying for itself with how many zombies you're killing, so you can start to become more lazy with your equipment usage. But this is going to be the spot here. There are 2 windows, one to your left, one to your right, and the zombies can come down through the hallway as well. You're just going to need to monitor those 2 windows and just fire away with the Cerberus. This thing is got a great fire rate, great damage. It's a ray gun with no splash damage, but again, you have PhD anyways, so that doesn't really matter. If you get caught up, you have your Casimirs, you have your Semtexes, you have a War Machine, and you have PhD. So again, no explosive splash damage. So you'll be just fine camping in this area for another 20-ish rounds, and then we'll be able to start getting into the first strategy. Not a perfect example, but this is the first timestamp I'd like to throw where the strategy is kicking in. We're looking at round 64. This is past when zombies are becoming super sprinters, and we're going to start really starting to utilize our equipment. But the zombie amount isn't as much to warrant a very extensive strategy. So we're going to start the rounds with a Casimir grenades. We don't have a Ring of Fire, as we do with a lot of these strategies. What's nice is the workbench is right next to you, so if you run out of Casimirs, you can throw one and buy one within the time that the Casimir is going off. But we're going to watch it go. Once it clicks off, we're going to activate Ring of Fire and start blasting those 2 sides as much as we can, toggling back and forth with the Cerberus. And if you feel yourself starting to get tied down with zombies or they're getting a little too close, you can throw Semtexes while shooting the Cerberus, and again, you're not going to take any damage because of PhD. So we're just going to blast away, and then as soon as our Ring of Fire is over, we need to leave the circle and start training. When I'm training, I'm going to switch over to the War Machine and then blast the zombies. If there are multiple waves of zombies, then you might need to do it multiple times, but for us on 64, it was only once. Alright, now let's look at the later rounds when the salvage essentially pays for itself, as you see me running over this just mass heap of salvage. So we can afford to be more lazy with our strategy, need to train a little bit less and use a little bit more equipment. It is very similar to the earlier rounds though. We do start the round off with a Casimir. If need be, while the Casimir is going off, I will sometimes shoot boss zombies, like, manglers and whatnot, to try to thin those out, because they can sometimes be a little bit of a hassle. But just like the last strategy, once the Casimir kicks off, we're going to use Ring of Fire, using Semtexes if we feel a little bit tied down with zombies, or we can just charge a Casimir in our other hand and wait to throw it. Once the Ring of Fire is done, instead of training with the War Machine, we can just release the left trigger, or L1, because we started holding it down while we were shooting the Cerberus here, and as you see right there, I throw the Casimir. I'm still shooting other boss zombies just in case, but this is going to charge up a Ring of Fire again. So once this concludes, same thing, charge Ring of Fire again, and start firing away at those two spots. It's just rinse and repeat. And again, on these later rounds, your salvage will pay for itself. So you can afford to be a little bit more lazy. But on the earlier rounds, instead of throwing the second Casimir after the Ring of Fire, you will start training in a small little banana, little semicircle type thing with the War Machine, and just kill zombies with explosive damage. But yeah, there was round 98. I chose round 98 because round 99, which is very lucky, ended up being the dog round from our Toten. So that is going to be basically our round 100. Today, we're going to be walking you through how to get to round 100 on Forsaken. Similar to our Maschine round 100, we're going to be largely using tactical grenades and equipment, as well as the wonder weapons. For this map, we're going to be using two. We're going to be using the Chrysalax for the first 40 to 50 rounds, and the next 40 to 50 rounds, we're going to be using the ray gun, triple pack punched on both, of course. That's why for my loadout, I'm going to be running the side melee weapon for the melee step of building the Chrysalax. But much like the Easter egg for this map, we're going to be running rounds 1 through 6 in this little opening starting area, just getting as much kills as humanly possible. And then after we get to round 6, we're going to teleport into the next area. Make sure your starting class is equipped with Ether Shroud, that way you can do the pizza running side quest, because that does give you a great chance of getting a ray gun from Ronald Raygun. And that's going to save you a lot of trouble hitting the mystery box. I know for recording this gameplay in particular, I actually spent probably 15 to 20 rounds of just chilling next to the mystery box with the Chrysalax, just killing zombies while spinning the mystery box, because the Chrysalax is just that amazing on early rounds. And it probably took me 15 to 20 just to get the ray gun. So make sure that you're going to be building up as much salvage as possible, getting the Chrysalax for really easy 40 to 50 rounds, and then getting the ray gun for the next 40 to 50 rounds. So I'll see you guys here in just a brief moment. Now that we're freshly teleported, we're going to get the spare change from Juggernog. We're going to jump over to the next area right across from us, where we'll be able to kill off the rest of the zombies, leaving one left over, and then using Ether Shroud on the Ronald Raygun door, which is straight to our left. You can buy stamina up if you like it. I just like the faster movement speed. I don't like to feel slow in these games, especially if I need to train in certain situations, or just rely on my movement to get me out of sticky situations. So we're just going to be taking out all the rest of the zombies, leaving one, and then starting off the pizza running quest with our Ether Shroud. We just got the Ether Shroud ready to go, so all we need to do is dwindle down to one zombie. Now with one zombie left, we're going to use Ether Shroud next to this door, pop it on open, grab a pizza box from him. We are going to switch to Ring of Fire for later on. Grab a pizza box, and we're going to start running these orders. If you haven't seen the side Easter egg video, I also recommend seeing that as well. We do cover a lot of Cold War content on the channel, so if you're new around here, please consider giving us a subscribe, as we do upload daily, and would love to be a part of your routine. But jumping down here, we're going to get to our first pizza box location, jumping over the hurdle there. You're going to grab the pizza, put it in the box, get our spare change points, and then get our first part for the teleporter at the end of the area. I actually misplaced it, but it's right there. We're going to run back to that same room, grab another pizza, rinse, and repeat. I'll see you once all the pizzas are done, and I'm actually just going to speed up this segment so you can watch my pathing. Hopping off the teleporter, we had no luck with getting a ray gun, but hopefully you guys had better RNG than I did. We're going to just go through the bunker area. It's going to spawn in an abomination at the end of the area here. Try your best to save the zombie as just to maintain the current round that you're on and speed up the process later on. But if he kills a zombie, that's okay too. So just melee the crap out of him. Make sure to get the weak spots whenever they're glowing. Very reminiscent of the Shadows of Evil Margwa. So you're just going to take him out, go through the teleporter, you're going to lift the lockdown, and hit the button on the wall to start the ability to do side Easter eggs and the main quest. So see you guys once he has been defeated. Now, with the lockdown lifted, we can pursue our next steps here, which is going to be chilling by the arcade machines to take out zombies and hopefully have them drop arcade tokens. You know me, I'm a big fan of the Enduro arcade machine. If you master the craft, you're going to be able to get constant 5,000 points, and sometimes the zombies drop the coins several times per round, so it's going to be a great asset to you, just to be able to get all those free points constantly pouring out. You can get your first free one just by meleeing that machine there. I'm actually going to use the knocked machine first, though, just so I can get myself some free salvage so I can purchase the flamethrower. You do need the flamethrower to shoot at the red sprinting zombie later on. That way you can get the crystal part for the crystal axe. So I'll see you once we're done with the arcade machine and we're crafting the flamethrower. Now, with the flamethrower equipped, we can go right back to taking out the zombies and making sure we're taking up those arcade coins little by little so we can spend them on Enduro. Keeping an open mind and ear out just in case we hear the sprinting red zombies, because we need to shoot them with the flamethrower. Next step after shooting the zombie with the flamethrower is going to be the lockdown sequence with a bunch of mimics, avogadros, as well as some plague hounds as well. So I'll see you guys here in a moment. While we're waiting on the red zombie to spawn in, we can get an abomination to spawn in and get one of our other crystal parts. By hooking to this location over here, you can have an assured abomination spawn. He'll always sprint to you if you're doing the Easter egg. Here's an easy way to get that part for the Easter egg. But we're actually going to hook around here and have him shoot a laser at that purple crystal right there. They can get a bit tedious if you're just kind of corralling them around, because sometimes they'll relentlessly charge at you, sometimes they'll just roar, sometimes they'll kill the zombies. All this is okay, just be patient, wait it out, and eventually they will shoot lasers at you. You just want to cross the path of the purple crystal, grab the part for the crystal, and you'll be good to go for that step. Checking back in on round 8, running around with the flamethrower, making sure we're looking for red zombie spawns. I believe I hear one, so I'm looking around, and I see him. He almost catches me off guard, but I spray him down with the fire, getting our second crystal part. Next up, we need to go back into the second area right after the spawn area, and we'll be able to do the third crystal after killing a few mini-boss zombies. With all those taken down, we can now grab our third and final crystal and head back into the downstairs area of the bunker. We need to put those crystal parts into a little backed tank of dark ether essence and get melee kills in front of it, similarly to a soul box. And that's why we have the purple psi melee weapons as our primary weapon for this loadout. So I'll see you guys here in a minute. We have arrived. We're just going to hold down square to interact with that little, again, dark ether back to tank type thing. And then we're just going to get melee kills in front of it. You can see the essence going into the back to tank, so you know you're doing it correctly. You just need to get quite a few zombie kills with the melee weapon in front of here, and then you'll see a big explosion, and you'll get your free Crystal Axe Wonder Weapon. It's nice that it does explode, as if you are kind of tied down with zombies, it'll blow the zombies away, give you enough time to grab the axe and be able to flee, or just chop them to bits. It's a very overpowered weapon to have on these early rounds. With our first Wonder Weapon now in hand, we are tasked with pack-a-punching it 3 times, buying every perk in the game that we want to buy, saving up enough salvage to buy things like the Casimir, war machines, maybe even a chopper gunner for like a oops I messed up type thing, and a bunch of Semtexes. We are going to want to hold off on buying Mule Kick until we're able to secure the ray gun, as for me personally, I get overwhelmed with having 3 weapons in my wheel, and it's really easy to either reload cancel with a YY or just quickly switch to something if need be. And if I have 3 wonder weapons, it makes that YY a little unachievable. So we're going to do all this, getting the Enduro tokens whenever we possibly can, just to do the extra free points there. And after we're done with all of that setup, we're going to start hitting the mystery box for the ray gun. So I'll see you guys when we're hitting the mystery box. Now that we have secured everything we need, we're going to start hitting the mystery box. Pro tip, you can actually look on this map and see one of those squares kind of be a different tint from white. It's going to be slightly red or pinkish in each of those little white boxes. So that's how you'll know which one is going to be the right mystery box location. And then you can go straight there and know exactly where to go. But as I was saying earlier, what is nice about the Crystal Axe is it is so bonkers overpowered on these rounds. You can just see me swing, especially if you have your melee tree fully maxed out. It'll upgrade your health while you're hitting zombies. And this in particular weapon will upgrade your armor back to full while you're hitting zombies as well. So you're pretty much invincible unless you get stacked up, which prevents this from being a weapon you can use for the full round 100. But for the first 40 to 50 rounds, it is bonkers overpowered. So you can literally hit the mystery box and just sit right next to it and be completely safe from all zombies. So you're just going to keep bapping them around. Once you can hit the box again, lean over and hit the box, go back to bapping zombies. Even if a few of them hit you, you'll be able to kill a few of them and have your health right back up to full, and same with your armor. So you'll just rinse and repeat this cycle up until you're able to acquire the ray gun. After the ray gun, we're going to triple pack-a-punch it, and then the strat begins. Now with our ray gun triple pack punched all of our perks, we've got Casimir grenades, we got Semtex grenades, Ring of Fire, and a chopper gunner just in case we may need it. We now have Mule Kick, so we can get equipment for free. By purchasing one, you get an extra one for free. It is time for the strategy. We're going to be sitting in the corner with Ronald Ray Gun like we started with the pizza Easter egg, and we're just going to be using the ray gun with that PhD resisting us from splash damage. You're going to use the ray gun on the early rounds to get you back Ring of Fire, but on the later rounds, you're going to be able to use the Casimir grenades, or even just throwing Semtexes. Especially when you run out of Ring of Fire, you can keep shooting the ray gun and spamming Semtexes into the hordes of zombies. The explosive damage will kill zombies all the way through your round 100, so Semtexes are bonkers great for this strategy. And it'll get you back your Ring of Fire, and again, you won't take explosive damage because of PhD. So this is basically the strategy. If you get overwhelmed, you can use a chopper gunner as like a get out of jail free card. You can use the Casimirs if you need to. I typically save buying more Casimirs until I'm fully depleted with the 2. That'd be because I have Mule Kick, I can get 1 for buying 1, and they're kind of pricey in terms of salvage. So I'm actually going to jump us forward into the last final rounds of this strategy, so you can see how I do the last few rounds. I think I'm actually just going to delete the last one at around 99. Just so you guys can see that. We'll talk our way through it, and then we'll give any sort of closing statements. And like in the last video, too, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. I love answering your guys' questions, and I like being your go-to resource for all things Cold War zombies. So I'll be right back. We have arrived at the pivotal moment of all round 100s, round 99. I dispatch of the Tempest. I'm going to jump through this window to go back to the crafting table to get myself the Casimir grenades. I still have 5 Semtexes, I've got a chopper gunner, and I need to recharge my Ring of Fire. I'm going to start the round by throwing a Casimir at the floor and sucking up all the zombies. This is a great time just to sit there, take a drink of your coffee if you're having one like I was, and wait for the Casimir to end. Once it's fully ended, we can cast Ring of Fire and start blasting our ray gun at the door frame. This is going to catch zombies falling from the ceiling and the zombies coming in the door frame there. The Ring of Fire is strong enough with the ray gun splash damage and point blank damage to kill zombies up at this round even, almost at round 100, still killing zombies. So once the Ring of Fire has concluded, we are going to keep shooting the ray gun, which you're going to see here in just a moment. Clearing up, there we go. Once it's fully concluded, we're going to keep shooting the ray gun, spamming our Semtexes into the hordes. Once we have Ring of Fire back, we're just going to cast it again. Constantly shooting the zombies coming in the door frame, killing them one by one. If an abomination comes in, you can spam your Casimirs, you can spam your chopper gunners, you can try to leave the vicinity by jumping into a Casimir. There are plenty of ways to avoid an abomination, but that is a basic round right there. That's how quickly these rounds can go in this strat. But that is 100 rounds on Forsaken. Again, any questions you guys have about this strategy, please let me know in the comments below. If you're new and you like what you see, please consider giving us a subscribe, as it is free. We upload daily, and we would love to be part of your routine and a part of your resource guides for Cold War zombies or zombies as a whole. Thank you so much for coming out today. Let us know what you want to see in the future, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you very much.